it's Liz Yuille from Old Staples Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today. For those of you who don't know me, I am a UK-based independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I have nothing here. But today is Tuesday. It is 8 o'clock in the morning in the UK, so it is time for Top Tip Tuesday. Now, I have been going on and on about, well, for a couple of weeks now, about coloured vellum. So this is a piece of our vellum cardstock, and I have coloured some of my vellum. I like using vellum for all sorts of things. I particularly like it for a layer which is there but not. So if you wanted to put a label or something like that, adding vellum is a nice way of having a sort of soft effect. So if I were to, for example, okay, this is silly because it's not soft, Magenta Madness. Now, obviously, the vellum is quite obvious. Obviously, the vellum is quite obvious. Clearly, the vellum plain is quite obvious. If you just have, if you colour it, it's there, but blend nicely into the background, which is fine until you want to do what I like to do, which is to pop my labels up. And then, if I were to grab a glue dot, so let me grab a glue dot and pop it on my vellum. That's not really going to be terribly good, is it? Now, I do quite often use my labels for words. So let's see, I've die cut chocolate here. That's not too bad if I hide it behind the O. Obvious behind the C, not too bad behind the O. But you can actually do even better than that. So this was Magenta Light with the blend. So it was light magenta. So what happens if we use the dark magenta, which is quite bright? Obviously it's got to dry. So let me waft over it a bit for it to dry, because it is only alcohol, so that's going to dry quickly. It's a lot better, but if I had decided I wanted magenta on top of black, it's still very obvious, even with the magenta on top. But if I bring in light rich raspberry and colour in my die cut, my blend, dear oh dear, colour in my dimensional, that's certainly a lot better. Now, possibly with dark rich raspberry, it might be even better than that. So let's have a look. So waft, and it's as if the dimensional doesn't exist. However, let's see what happens if we then put it onto Magenta Madness. No, it still doesn't exist. Even if I hold the O down so that it's really on top and we've got no shadow, suddenly that dimensional is gone. It's obvious and it's gone. So this is my top tip. If you're going to use coloured vellum, and I would urge you to do so, bearing in mind you can make your own, let's have a try at what colours will hide our dimensional. So let's pop. This is, got to remember what it is. That's dark old olive, light old olive, dark misty moonlight, light misty moonlight, dark crumb cake. Now I haven't done light crumb cake because frankly light crumb cake is almost non-existent when you put it on vellum. Let me show you. So this is light crumb cake, and it kind of, I mean, that's only one layer. Now I always do one way and then the other way, but it's, unless you were putting that on top of white or possibly vanilla, it's not going to show. So let me bring in my black cardstock first so we can see all of, we haven't got one there, we can, it's going to annoy me, we're going to have one there, we can see all of our dimensionals. I'm actually going to do a yellow as well, because yellow is quite an interesting challenge. So let me find, yep, Dark Daffodil Delight. Okay, so let's go one way and the other way. Waft, grab a dimensional, blow. Yep, that's basically dry. Okay, so definitely you can see that one. So I'm going to do it on black, because black is the kind of, black's going to be where it becomes a real challenge. All the darker colours are. Now I have already gone over this one, as we know, with the raspberry, and if I can find my die cut, oh, there it is, that basically disappears. But if I come in on all the others, the dark Misty Moonlight, not too bad. Crumb Cake, definitely there. Light Crumb Cake, definitely there. Light Misty Moonlight, it's not dreadful. Light Old Olive, I can see it. Dark Daffodil Delight, I can see it. So the reason I say that the yellows are interesting is this is dark cinnamon cider. And when you put that on top of your Daffodil Delight, it's not, let's put it over it's quite obviously darker there, but even on that, it's not obviously darker, particularly when it dries off. So if I then put my chocolate over the top, particularly when it's hidden, as in when it's behind something like the O, can you see it disappears? So let me try other colours. So that was Dark Cinnamon Cider on Daffodil Light, on Dark Daffodil Delight. Old Olive, I'm going to try Dark Mossy Meadow on the same theory. That almost disappears. So let's do Light Mossy Meadow on Light Old Olive and see if that does much. Not really. So let's see what Dark Old Olive does. And that is a lot better. Now I accept that it's got some light mossy meadow there as well, but this is almost non-existent at all. Misty Moonlight, I am thinking we probably need to go Night of Navy. That's Misty Moonlight. That's Misty Moonlight. Let's bring in Night of Navy. So Night of Navy is definitely darker than Misty Moonlight. So let's use the dark Night of Navy on dark Misty Moonlight and try the light Night of Navy on the light Misty Moonlight. We'll leave those to dry. Crumb Cake, I already know, and you will find out if you watch my spot video later this morning, that dark soft suede works quite well on that. So let's try light soft suede on light Crumb Cake. Yeah, you see, that's going to be a challenge, but then I don't think I would use light Crumb Cake on Vellum anyway, but let's do that. So let's see. From the left, Magenta Madness, fine. Daffodil Delight, yep, that'll do for me. Dark Old Olive with Dark Misty Moonlight definitely works. I would almost be able to get away with not having anything. Old Olive and Light Old Olive and Light Mossy Meadow is okay. Misty Moonlight and Night of Navy, absolutely. Misty Moonlight and Night of Navy, absolutely. Crumb Cake and Cinnamon Cider, yep, that'll be fine for me. That one, not so much. I think that we possibly need to go Dark Crumb Cake. So let's stick another dimensional on and grab Dark Crumb Cake. But do you see what I'm saying? That you can just practice. See, no, I don't think that's going to work either. Let's try a little, no, we've done light cinnamon cider. Let's try dark. I think that might be too orange, but we'll give it a go. Yeah, I don't think I would be doing light crumb cake. Now if we bring it onto white, I would live with that. I might go light rich raspberry rather than dark. I would definitely live with the cinnamon cider and the daffodil delight. Mossy meadow and old olive, yep. Night of navy and misty moonlight, absolutely. Dark crumb cake and dark soft suede, yes. No. No. That one for me doesn't work. But do you see what I mean? Going that bit darker, because you've got something white immediately behind, you need to go a little bit darker to kill the white. So that's my top tip. If you want to use vellum coloured, then this is how you can put dimensionals behind. Now if we're going to go, why don't we go white, as in clear? Now that is going to be obvious. For me, that is obvious. So let's keep the theory running and get our greys. I'm going to try dark smoky slate first, I think. Might even need to go dark, go light black, but this is dark smoky slate. That's not bad, actually. That is not bad. I could probably live with that, but just in case, let me grab light black. I have an issue with calling black light. So, light black. Yep. Now this is black cardstock, obviously. Let that dry. Come on. My poor piece of chocolate is going to be battered. Actually, that's better. I can live with that, but that is better. What happens when we put it on white? So on white, I like the smoky slate. On black, I like the light black. Anyway, I think you've got the point. 13 minutes of it. Use your vellum, get coloured, use your blends on your vellum, and use dimensionals. Just practice with which colour's going to work where. Depending on the colour of your cardstock will depend on the colour of the blend you want to put on top. I hope you found that helpful. Today, as I say, there's today's spot challenge. My project for that uses this technique. So do go and have a look at that. It goes live at, I think I'm right in saying, noon UK time. So do have a look at that, and I hope you found that helpful. I've now got blends everywhere. Thank you very much indeed for watching. If you found that helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing, and obviously if you wish to share, that would be awesome too. If you're in the UK and need any products, I would be thrilled if you would choose to shop with me. I try to look after my customers really well, so I would love you to try out my customer service. Thank you very much indeed, and I hope you have a good day and look forward to seeing you maybe tomorrow.